A critical vulnerability in Nginx UI has raised serious alarms across the cybersecurity community. Tracked as CVE 2026-27944, the flaw allows attackers to download and decrypt full server backups without any authentication whatsoever. Carrying a CVSS score of 9.8, this vulnerability places sensitive organizational data at considerable risk, particularly for those running public-facing management interfaces. The potential for widespread damage makes this one of the more pressing security disclosures in recent memory. The disclosure of CVE 2026-27944 makes it clear that organizations cannot afford to leave Nginx UI management interfaces exposed without strict controls in place. Security professionals should move quickly to assess their current exposure, verify patch status, and enforce authentication at every layer of access. Backup data, often overlooked as a primary attack surface, has now become a direct target. Treating backup security with the same urgency as live system security is no longer optional. It is a fundamental requirement for any organization relying on Nginx UI in a production environment. This video is sponsored by Stonefly. More on that at the end of the video. The vulnerability in Nginx UI CVE 2026-27944 permits entirely unauthorized access to server backups. Attackers can exploit this flaw to reach sensitive information stored within those backups, bypassing whatever authentication protocols an organization may have put in place. This directly undermines both the confidentiality and integrity of data that organizations typically assume is well protected. The fact that this access requires no credentials makes the threat considerably more dangerous than standard authentication bypass vulnerabilities. The CVE 2026-27944 vulnerability stems from improper authentication mechanisms within the Nginx UI. Once exploited, this flaw allows threat actors to download entire server backups without credentials, decrypt encrypted data contained within those backups, and access sensitive information with no identity verification required. Organizations that expose Nginx management interfaces publicly face the greatest level of danger. Exploitation of this vulnerability could allow attackers to access confidential business information stored within server backups, use exposed data to launch further targeted attacks, and compromise sensitive records that may include credentials, configurations, and internal communications. Let's take a moment to talk about our sponsor. Get a 300 terabyte Veeam, Rubrik, Commvault Immutable, and air-gapped backup and DR appliance for $19,995. Contact sales@stonefly.com for details. Subscribe for more cybersecurity news. Thank you for watching.